Hello again, Billy. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So, meron tayong about mga parang 5 viewers sa ating event page. Siguro nahiya lang sila pumasok. So, hi to you, Scott, Sparky, Julian. Oy, mag-replay sandali. Garnett. Kevin Garnett ata to ah.
You know.
So, thank you for joining. And we have here inside the webinar, again, si Mr. Billy Ramirez. So, good evening to everybody. So, I hope more people will come in to join us for this free group coaching webinar. This is one of our first live group coaching webinar. So, we do this to help you with any of your concerns in terms of your freelancing career or online business career. So we try to help you kung may question kayo, wala kayong mapagtanungan. Yeah, so we'll try to give you answers and hopefully help you take action. So yun naman yung pinaka-importante is to take action. So for now, nasa loob ng room is again si Mr. Billy Ramirez, ating loyal listener. So magandang gabi ulit sa'yo, Billy.
Good evening, Sir Mars, and good evening, guys.
Mm. So nabanggit mo kanina no na you are an IT person na ayun ang specialty mo tapos you have a day job. So may sinabi mo rin na parang like me, you're a listener of Pat Flynn and yung mga ibang ating mga ina-idolize din na online business entrepreneurs. And so kamusta yung um yung yung parang journey mo, yung parang so nagsusubok ka 'di ba na nag-try ka mag-vlog. Na binigay mo yung website, ito, yung ccnaphilippines.com tsaka thinkpesos.com.
Uh,
So,
yes,
yeah,
sir. Tama. So
kamusta
far,
yung experience mo with that? I'll just
okay.
turn on my camera muna para mabati pala, hindi ko pa on ang aking camera. Okay, ay may tape pa, yan. Okay, so again, good evening. So, yun, Billy, so kamusta yung yun nga yung pagba-vlog?
So far, okay naman, Sir Marv. So, meron ng konting mga likes sa social
Oo.
media. Yung CCNA Philippines, bali talagang parang advocacy ko lang siya, kaya ko siya sinimulan eh. So, hindi ko pa alam
Okay.
kung ma-monetize ko ba siya in the future or what. Nagsubok
Mm.
lang ako kasi Tagalog siya. Regarding
Okay.
siya doon sa mga Pinoy na gustong mag-aral ng Cisco, sa CCNA particularly, yun yung certification sa Cisco.
Mhm.
So naggagawa lang ako ng mga tutorial tapos sinishare ko yung experience ko sa trabaho kasi sa networking IT nga ako. So ganun. Yun. Tapos yung
Okay.
isa, yung Think Pesos, personal finance naman yung itong vlog ko na to.
Ay,
So ito
sorry
yung kumikita kahit pa paano.
Sorry na-play ko yung video. Sorry, sige. So sinasabi mo yung sa Think Pesos,
Ayun sir,
ano?
yung Think Pesos, personal finance siya. So, nagse-search tsaka nagse-share din ako ng mga personal finance tip, yung mga alam ko, tsaka yung mga
Mm.
nababasa ko din sa vlog, sa
Okay.
podcast, sa libro or sa TV, basta yung mga makakatulong dun sa iba na ginagawa ko din sa sarili ko. So, kahit
Okay.
papaano kumikita 'tong vlog na 'to sa AdSense naman na
Talaga?
ayun, kahit papaano extra income.
Okay. Sige. Kausapin lang natin, meron tayong mga nadagdagan na viewers. So sa mga viewers natin, medyo may delay yan sa live. Um, you can join us yung sa link na nilabas ko kanina. Ayan, nagpa-play. So, I'll share that again. Hold on. I-share ko ulit yan sa ating live event page na kung ayaw nyong sumali dito sa event page, I can share dito sa webinar, I can share yung link para maka-join kayo. So, basta if you have any questions sa ating mga viewers online, just tweet me at freelanceblend with the hashtag #AskFreelanceBlend. So, makikita nyo yan sa ating live chat. Okay. Ayun. So, just click the link. Ito na, lumabas na siya sa ating chat page. Siguro i-demonstrate ko. Pakita natin yung screen. Saan ba yun? Okay, so ito yung screen. Ito yung link to join this webinar. I-click nyo lang yan. Makaka-join kayo sa webinar. Or kung ayaw nyong sumali inside the webinar, you just want to watch our webinar, just go to this link, webinars.freelanceblend.com/live-event-4. Tapos, if you have any questions, just tweet me ito at freelanceblend with the hashtag #AskFreelanceBlend. So, Billy, nakikita mo to, no? Just to be sure, nakikita mo yung
Yes,
screen
sir.
ko, no? With the
Opo.
So, ito yung link na kinlik ni Billy para makapasok siya sa webinar. So, if you want to ask, para ma-coach ko kayo, and you'll also be part of the podcast, then just click this link, ito, and then yun, makakapasok na kayo. And yun nga, if you have any questions, kung ayaw nyo naman sumali, just tweet me at freelanceblend, ito, tapos use the hashtag #AskFreelanceBlend. Okay, so pagpatuloy natin ang usapan. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. Hello. So, may dalawa kang website, ccnaphilippines.com tsaka thinkpesos.com. So, I would advise is first, number one, to focus on one muna. Mahirap nga mag-maintain ng isang website. Ano pa kaya yung dalawa? So, Billy, so una-una yung CCNA. So, sino ba yung magiging primary audience mo dito for this website? Sino ba yung naiisip mo? Kasi like ako, hindi naman ako IT person, hindi ko alam kung ano yung CCNA. So, una-una, ano ba muna yung CCNA?
Bali yung CCNA, Sir Marv, certification siya eh. So, di ba yung mga IT, may mga kanya-kanya siyang certification like Microsoft, ganyan-ganyan.
Okay.
Itong CCNA, dun siya sa Cisco. Networking naman siya, kumbaga, yung basic level niya kung paano nagko-connecta yung mga call center sa iba't ibang
Mm-hmm.
site, ganun.
Okay. So, yun, who do you think is your target audience for this blog?
Nung una, bali talagang hobby lang siya na kaya ko siya nasimulan, pero ang nasa isip ko is yung mga beginner na Pinoy na gusto ring mag-CCNA or maging Cisco certified. So, ayun yung target audience ko dyan sa
So,
vlog
yung
na yan, sir.
Pinoy na maging certified na CCNA. Sorry, ano nga ulit yung CCNA?
Bali
Cisco
yung CCNA kasi, sir, abbreviation siya ng
Certified,
uh,
yan.
Cisco Certified Network Associate.
Okay. So, meron bang community around this certification? Merong bang grupo ng tao who are interested to get this accreditation?
So far sir, may mga kasi dito sa Pilipinas, may mga training center ng CCNA, marami. Katulad
Mm.
pinag-trainingan ko before para maging certified. So doon sa mga ibang forum tsaka mga ibang sa Facebook, may mga yun, mga nag-i-inquire ng mga knowledge about diyan sa kung paano maging certified, kung paano matuto ng networking ng Cisco, ayun.
Okay. For you, is it passion mo ba siya? Is it something that you enjoy writing about, talking about? Or it's para sa'yo it's part of work? Kasi yun yung trabaho mo, di ba?
No sir, bali more likely part of work siya na gusto kong i-share yung mga natutunan ko dun sa iba. Parang gano'n.
Mm. So, yung second website mo. Well, before we go to your second website, I'd like to welcome Francisco. Francisco, are you there?
Yes,
Can
Marv.
you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi. Yeah,
Good morning,
I
good
know you.
afternoon. Hi, Marv.
Good evening from Manila.
Yes, good morning. Good afternoon from Amsterdam.
From Amsterdam. Wow. Welcome. So, you were part of our very first webinar. So,
Yes.
thank you for joining us. So, we're now talking to Billy. So later I'll go to you to ask you some questions and introduce yourself, and
Sure.
you can also ask me questions.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So again, thank you for joining us. I'll just put you on mute. Ayan. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, Billy. So let's go naman to your second website, yung thinkpesos.com. So, I assume, so you shared the link earlier. Chinek ko na rin siya. So, it's about personal finance. So, do you think, what do you have, um, saan ka mas passionate? Is it about the Cisco accreditation or about personal finance? Ano yung tingin mo mas marami kang share, marami kang masusulat for your blog?
So far, mas marami akong nasulat sa Think Peso sir sa personal
Oo.
finance. Kasi kaya ako rin na-discover mag-vlog para kumbaga magkaroon ng extra income bukod doon sa full-time income na sa trabaho. So
Okay.
parang kung titingnan, parang ang gusto ko lang mangyari din is mag-generate ng isang parang small business online na nagge-generate ng extra income. So doon pa rin siya papatak sa parang personal finance.
Oh, so mas parang lumalabas mas passionate ka diyan kasi nga it's parang hobby for you. I assume kasi yung accreditation na to, yung Cisco accreditation is your day job. Tama ba
Hmm.
ako?
Yun sir, tama.
Oo. So I would suggest na since mukhang mas nag-enjoy ka magsulat about personal finance, and actually maganda rin yung URL mo, domain name mo, thinkpesos.com. Then maybe yun nga, you can choose one, yung Think Pesos. So na-mention mo rin kanina na you're able to already monetize the blogs from ads. So pareho ka bang, are you able to monetize both o isa lang?
Bali isa lang sir, itong Think Pesos lang kasi yung CCNA, Tagalog siya So hindi siya
Tagalog.
pwede sa AdSense.
Oh. Or it's possible also na baka nga wala kang audience for CCNA kasi nga it's mga ilan ba yung nagte-take ng accreditation na yan dito sa Pilipinas?
Very limited lang eh. Napaka, napaka-narrow ng audience.
Napaka-narrow,
Pero
oo.
napaka-targeted niya kaya lang ang
Mm.
kalaban naman dito is maraming ring mga website na English, yung mga international na nagpo-provide ng
Oo,
information. Tapos
oo.
dito sa Pinas, walang vlog pero maraming mga training center naman, mga live na training center.
Okay. Kasi for me, totally opposite yung dalawang website mo. Yung CCNA nga, sabi mo nga, narrow. So, it's really a niche na it will be easier for you to become an authoritative figure of this accreditation, Cisco accreditation, versus yung Think Pesos na ayun, personal finance, ang daming nagbablog about personal finance. Mas mahirapan ka rin naman na to make yourself an authority on personal finance with thinkpesos.com.
Yun nga, sir.
Mhm.
Maraming
So,
expert na eh. So, parang minsan, parang
mm,
nakaka-insecure mag-post ng mga article na siyempre,
oo,
na-post na ng mga expert katulad nila
yes,
Sir Pitts, nila
oo,
yung iba dyan, siyempre,
oo.
parang gano'n.
Pero syempre, it shouldn't stop you naman kasi baka may maisip ka pang niche din na within Think Pesos. Pero yun nga, maganda nga rin yung CCNA kasi nga niche siya talaga. So, I would suggest yun nga, yung when you see CCNA Philippines.com, hindi mo alam kung ano siya. So, first, siguro do a Google search kung ano yung keyword research, the Google Keyword Planner. So, itatype ko yung Google
Actually, pag tinipe mo
Keyword.
yan, sir, nasa number 1 na ako eh.
Talaga?
Oo, kasi wala nga nagbablog.
Kasi may, talaga? Sige, i-search natin mamaya. So, nag-number 1 ka. So, ano yung mas maraming views ka? Yung CCNA? So, yung keyword dito, CCNA,
Opo, sir.
keyword mo
Kumbaga
na ginamit?
CCNA training in the Philippines or CCNA exam in the Philippines, ganyan.
Oo.
Or CCNA in the Philippines. Pasok siya doon.
Okay.
Meron akong
Um,
article na nagna-number
oo.
1 sa Google.
Ayun yung maganda rin. So, ah, tama no, pumasa ka dito sa accreditation na to. Tama.
Opo, sir.
Oo. So,
Kasi dun sa trabaho namin, um, advantage mo na certified ka eh. Kasi kumbaga, mas in demand kayo doon sa mga IT company kapag meron kang certification. Kaya yun,
okay.
yung ibang mga IT nagte-take ng certification.
Mm. So, pwede mong gawin, um, kung nagta-top ka nga, kasi si Pat Flynn ganyan din nagsimula eh. So, for those who are viewing this, Pat Flynn is one of my idols. He's a podcaster. He's a big online entrepreneur in the US that Billy also follows. So si Pat Flynn start with he was an architect, tama ba? Billy. He
Sir,
was an
tama. Sa
architect.
Green, ay, yung lead
Green
architect
exam.
sa US.
Yeah. So he built a website about how to pass the lead. I think it's a LEED exam. So it's a
Okay.
certification. I think meron din yan dito. So alam ng mga nakikinig natin na mga architects and engineers dyan. So he did, while he was studying architecture and for this exam, he collected all his review notes, tapos he posted it in his website, in a website for that. Tapos he was able to monetize it by actually he joined a mastermind group like this one. Tapos nagulat sila ang laki ng views ng website niya. So they told him to monetize it through an ebook. And then from that website, he was able to share that, tapos he was able to grow his online business. He shifted to parang ikaw, Billy, he shifted naman when his Green Exam Academy, 'di ba? Tama ba? greenexamacademy.com was growing. He shared that. He tried to create a podcast, Smart Passive Income, and it's also a website. And now he's really a big podcaster and online business. And he started with that. So parang he taught people how to pass that exam. So pwedeng gawin mo rin 'yon, yung maging target mo are people taking the exam. Kasi I was checking out your website. Siguro I'll be sharing the screen. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So ito yung website mo. So CCNA Philippines. So meron ka ba dito about how to pass the exam? So it's about yung mga latest articles mo. It's about ano na yan, yung ginagawa mo ngayon. Tama ba, Billy?
Yes sir. Bali pag nagpunta kayo doon sa free CCNA lessons na
Oo.
tab, mayroon doong tutorial yung pinaka
Oo.
sa chapter 2 yata yun. And yung
Okay.
FAQs.
Exam. Siguro, pwede ka rin gumawa, ito na yung magiging ano mo, main topic mo, which is how to pass, parang exam tips, CCNA, how, or paano bang Green Exam Academy, do? Or something like that, CCNA Exam Academy. So, parang hindi ka na lang blog, you're already an exam website.
Yun yung
Tapos,
initial idea ko sir eh. Parang Fatflin
oo,
model
oo.
din. Pero
Kasi,
kumbaga hindi ko rin sure kaya
oo. So, I
tinutuloy-tuloy ko
suggest,
lang.
tapos, eventually, pwede ka mag-partner sa mga, ano rin, sa mga schools na nagtuturo ng accreditation na to, and maybe, eventually, you'll become one of the teachers or trainers. So, right now, kasi kung pwede mo i-target as an audience yung mga beginners. Kasi yung mga kagaya mo naman, alam na nila to eh. 'Di ba?
Yun nga
If
sir.
you
Mga
can make it
pang beginner talaga, basic lang ang mga
oo.
sinishare ko.
Oo. So, hindi ako CCNA. So, I would suggest nga, yun yung maging main focus mo is uh, how to pass the exam. So, beginners talaga, yung magte-take pa lang ng exam.
Sir,
So,
ang plano ko sana, nasa isip ko pa lang.
oo.
Ayan, kumpletuhin yung mga lessons tapos kumbaga i-convert sa ebook na dadagdagan ko pa. So parang gano'n, kumbaga in
Oo.
the future pagka ano.
Tapos, okay lang na Tagalog ka kasi I assume mga nagte-take din naman ito, mga Pinoy. So, pwede mo siyang gawing .ph. Kunin mo rin yung .ph, ccnaphilippines.com.ph, or pwede mong ibahin na nga, parang yung URL mo, yung domain mo will focus on the exam, or parang nga, CCNA Exam Academy or something like that. Okay?
Sige
So,
sir.
tapos yun na yung magiging nasa ano mo. Tapos, um, lahat ng mga isusulat mo is about how to pass the exam. Even yung mga tips mo, even yung sa headline mo dito, parang, parang tagline, lagyan mo ng tagline na, so, ayun nga yung CCNA, medyo intimidating pa tong ano eh. Ayun nga, hindi mo maintindihan. Pero kung gusto mo puntahan natin yung kay Pat Flynn, in Exam Academy. Ito yun, no? So, you can see, ito na talagang click here to get a guide. So, pwede kang gumawa ng what you call this? A short
Tipo.
guide. Tapos, hindi niya ginamit yung lead. So, parang green exam, parang it's another term for, I think yung lead is about, LEED is about, ayun, green practices. Yung mga, what you call that? Parang ah, nature, parang ganun. Tawag doon? Friendly, parang environment friendly na design. So, ayan, you can i-pattern mo dito. Tas ito, ang dami yan ang dami niya ng nasulat. Um, and then, newbies yon. Kasi you assume nga na newbies talaga yung mga papasok sa website mo. People who are studying. So, pag nag-aaral ka, hanggang ilang take ba yan, yung exam, Billy?
Pag first take, sir, meron siyang mga iba't ibang options eh. Kasi pero kapag napasa mo yung exam na yung normal na CCNA, so certified ka na. And then kung gusto mong mag-advance, meron siyang mga higher level na exam
Okay.
na pataas.
So, ayun. So, usually, kung kanyari nga, kung maraming take yun, di ba? Pwede kang maraming take. So kung you can write an article, a blog about a person, pwedeng palagi bakit ako palaging how to avoid not passing the exam, or para hindi ako bumagsak, ano yung gagawin ko. So that's a pain point, yung mga bumabagsak. So kung with your website, if you're able to make them pass the exam, then syempre parang pogi points yun sa'yo. You'll be an authority when it comes to making the examiners pass the exam. So, yun yung I would like to suggest that just observe how Pat Flynn does it. Make him your blog peg. So ako, ang blog peg ko rin siya, but for smart passive income. Okay, so sabi mo no na hindi mo siya na-monetize pa. So siguro you excuse me. Sorry. So i-try mo muna siya if you can parang rebrand, and kung you see people dumami yung views mo, then you're into something. But if kung hindi nga nag-succeed, then you can focus on your thinkpesos.com. Pero ito nga, as I said, mas kailangan mo pang talagang you need to really grow this, kasi nga maraming nagba-blog about personal finance. And when did you start this? thinkpesos.com?
Bali, ano sila, sir? Halos panabay lang sila eh. March this year.
Okay. Oh, so ano pa lang?
Bago pa lang. Pero,
Bago this year pa lang.
opo.
Okay.
Pero itong Think Pesos, ano eh, marami na siyang view eh. Kasi English siya, at saka siguro, kahit pa paano.
In terms of mga ganong karami, if you don't mind sharing.
Bali, yung last month, sir, parang kulang-kulang 100,000 page views na eh.
Wow! Talaga? Ang laki nun ah. How
sir,
about tong si
CCNA naman, 1,000 plus yung last
a month? Ang laki ng So ano yung ginagawa mo para makuha yung views?
Google Analytics, sir. Diba? Para ma-track mo yung
keywords.
Opo. Keywords. Kasi kahit pa paano, sa dami na rin nung nabasa tsaka napanood ko, tapos napakinggan dun kila Fatlin tsaka dun sa ibang vlogger. Ina-apply ko yung mga natututunan. So, ayun. Okay naman.
So, mukhang dito ka na lang mag-stick siguro. Mataas yung 100,000
Oo nga, sir eh. Tsaka siya yung nagbibigay monthly ng income eh. Kahit pa paano, malaking tulong eh. Kumbaga,
Oo.
pambayad na ng
Oo.
bill.
Oo. I'm sure just with the Google Ads. So, I would suggest lang parang lagyan mo na ng personality. So, when you look at the website, you don't know kung sino yung nagsulat. So, wala kang about page. So, very important. Tsaka contact. So, baka mamaya may interested na sponsor. So, wala silang way to reach you.
Meron sir, nasa
So,
ilalim nga lang.
okay. So, the fact na hindi ko siya nakita, usually kasi, yun, kita ko na. Okay, pati about. So, lagyan mo na lang siya dito sa taas.
Okay.
About tsaka contact. Very important kasi yung page views is normally above the fold, di ba? Yung pinakamataas, this part. So, yun. Usually, hindi na sila umabot sa ilalim. So make sure to have your about page and contact page on the upper portion.
Okay,
Okay, so later you can have ask your questions, and then I'll just I'll just show you my presentation. Okay, for those who are still who are viewing this webinar, you can still join us here inside. So I shared the link in Twitter. So just follow me at freelanceblend. Nandun yung link. Or sa mga viewers, I'll just show you again for those who just joined us now. I'll just share you my screen. Okay. So Billy, kita mo? You can see it? You can see my screen, no?
Wala pa, Sir Marv.
Wala pa. Okay.
Ayan, okay na po.
Okay.
Ay, nawala ulit. Ayan.
Okay, ayan. Okay. So, just click this link to join us in the webinar so you can ask me your questions. If not, you can still view this webinar. Medyo may delay lang, but just go to this link, webinars.freelanceblend.com/live-event-4 to be able to view this webinar and then ask us your questions by tweeting me at freelanceblend with the hashtag #AskFreelanceBlend, and your tweet will appear here in the screen. Okay, so let me just share my short intro about myself. So let me just share that screen. Okay. So kita niyo yung screen, Billy and Francisco?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So,
No, I cannot see anything. I'm in Google Hangout and I'm not able to see anything. I'm just seeing your
okay.
picture.
Okay. But you, Billy, can you see it?
Yes, sir. Kita ko siya.
Kita, no?
Yung,
Okay. Let me just adjust something. Baka there's, since Francisco can see it, just share it, the PowerPoint screen. Can you see my screen now?
In Hangout, no.
No. How about you, Billy?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so how about this? Can you see it now, Francisco?
Not yet.
Not yet. So what are you seeing in your screen?
On your profile picture.
Just my picture.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you just need to click below where you see the face of
Yeah.
Billy
Yeah.
and my screen.
Yes.
So I think you just need to click that uh, to see me. I'm sorry, to see the presentation. Anyway, I'll just go through this
Yeah. Go ahead. Go
quickly.
ahead. Go ahead.
So for our new listeners and viewers, so I'm Marv. Here my passions, as you can see in this PowerPoint. I'm a graphic designer. I'm also a podcaster. So when I was young, I really love to play with the radio and do my own radio shows. So now I turned into a podcaster. So because of the internet, it's really easy to create your own show. So I have a podcast. It's called Freelance Ben Podcast. And I also love books. So I love reading business books. That's why I also love to teach about what I read. And another one of my passions on the lower right, of course, this community that I built. It's the freelancing community called Freelance Blend Manila. And I also love sports. I love basketball. I'm a big Lakers fan, so shout out to the Lakers fans out there. And of course, my family. So I do everything because uh, I love my family and I love being a freelancer because I have more time with them, and for me that's what I love about what I do. So I have the freedom of time, freedom of location, and also financial freedom. So Freelance Blend, as I shared earlier, is started as a podcast, which is available in iTunes and Stitcher. And so that's how I validated my idea for this freelancing community is through the podcast. As I mentioned earlier, my one of my idols is Pat Flynn. He's a big podcaster in the US, and that's he inspired me to create my own show, which is Freelance Blend podcast. So I also have a blog called freelanceblend.com where I write about freelancing also, and where people who don't or not able to listen via their smartphones can still listen to the podcast through the blog. And on the lower left part of the screen is the meetup group that I also formed for freelancers. It also validated my idea that there is a community that wants to be led by a person, and that's me. So in meetup.com you're able to create your own event, and if people attend your event, then it's a sign that what you're talking about or what you're passionate about is also something that people are also passionate about, and you can form a community of like-minded people like freelancers through meetup.com, and that's how I one of the building blocks of Freelance Blend. And also Freelance Blend is also active in social media, so Twitter, Facebook, even Google Plus, and all the other social media sites. And also, we started holding workshops for freelancers early last year, which they're live workshops, and now we're venturing into webinars. So, again, I'm the founder of Freelance Blend. I also write at freelanceblend.com. I'm a freelance business coach. So, I do coaching like what we're doing right now. I write for Malaya Business Insight, column in the Infotech page. I write about freelancing and online business. And I just released a book called Cyberpreneur Philippines. I'm a work at home dad and a serial entrepreneur. So Freelance Blend is actually again a community of Filipino freelancers that I formed to be able to connect with the people and learn from them, and actually hopefully they learn from me through the podcast. And for me, it's also a movement. The freelancing industry is still in its infancy here in the Philippines, but we it's slowly starting to grow. A lot of people are discovering freelancing, and I hope through my podcast and website that more people will join our movement. And unemployment is a big problem in the Philippines, and I believe that Freelance Blend and freelancing can help eliminate unemployment here in the country, give jobs to those who are jobless, or who those who lost their jobs, and prevent Filipino talent from leaving the country, becoming OFW. Now they don't need to leave the country because you can now earn online as a freelancer. So that's what we're passionate about here in Freelance Blend. So actually, I I was able to retire from my day job of 18 years. So this is what I posted during my first day of retirement when I retired from 18 years of my day job. And when I posted it, a lot of people commented. So I think it's still unusual for a 40-year-old to retire because we're expected to work and be part of the rat race until we're 60s or 65, kung ano man yung retirement age. So it still means that there's still my job to let people know or about freelancing is still I still have a big task ahead. So I hope with the help of the community, we'll be able to reach our goals. Okay, so now, that's a short intro about me. So we were able to talk to Billy earlier. So now, if you're ready, Francisco, if you don't mind, share with us why you are here in the webinar and how we can help you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Mhm.
Actually, I joined this because it was I knew that I was going to be working from home. I had some slot to join. That's why I joined. I didn't have any intention at all what was going to. I thought it was. I know Marv. I've been talking with him for the
Yeah,
past weeks,
yeah. Uh-huh.
and it's always happy to hear his voice because I have
Uh-huh.
never met Marv. So, but anyway, his voice is quite nice, and I learn a lot from him.
Thank you.
So. So the thing here is that my first, let's say, contribution is that Billy is like I think he's what he's doing is a great thing. I work for Cisco. I do know that it's quite very hard to get those CISO certificate, and I think a good achievement from your side and also for your part trying to share it with the rest of the of our fellow men, right? So that's good.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow, that's a small world, ah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
They- So I worked for Cisco for 6 years. I was leading the whole complete operations here for
Oh,
Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Mhm.
are you still working with Cisco right now, sir?
No, 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 no.
Okay.
I'm like Marv. I search for my freedom.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put it. Everyone here in this call is no. We're looking
Yeah.
we're trying to look for our own freedom.
Mhm.
No,
Mhm.
it was a join. So you're asking Marv why I joined this. I mean, I'm joining this because it's just also something for me to learn, right?
Mhm.
And since also that the past 2 years I've been trying to to develop a project of my own, saying that it's pretty much there's a lot of news move here in Europe of startups, softwares and apps developers, and here in Europe, Nordic, uh, Netherlands, Spain, UK, they're catching up with the Silicon Valley, and there's a lot of statement that a lot of funds, investors, and or companies based in Silicon are adjusting their expansion, and they're basing their European headquarters, and they're being sorting out cities, and there's like
Mhm.
four cities already here in Europe, which is pretty much on in advance, and can be comparable with the Silicon Valley or New Yorkers, right? Then we have London, of course, Amsterdam, Berlin, and Madrid.
Mhm.
So having said that, my intention is like to learn and to get those networks I have here in Europe of those startups,
Mhm.
mainly focus in sectors and in industries such as e-transportations, e-health, e-training, e-communication, and e-commerce,
Mhm.
and also e-energy. Those are the things that I'm quite keen to focus with. And my major business services for these startups is to be a link between those interested European startups and be their, like a liaison or sub-business support for the expansion in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
Mainly those are the things I'm doing. And beside that, I will be in the next couple of weeks in Manila, meeting several, doing a lot of networks. And my intention is
Mhm.
to meet local people who can be my possible business partners or interested for them to learn how can we engage those European startups in Southeast Asia, and how we in Manila as a hub can support those startup Europeans who are willing to expand their business, or their growth
Mhm.
in Southeast Asia.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, thank you for that, Francisco. So, well, I already know your story. That's why.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that do you have any questions from me at this point, or do you want to, since you're also in the same field as Billy, or you have experience in that field, maybe since this is a group coaching mastermind, anything you can comment or help Billy with his website?
The thing is that, as I said, I was not able to look at the website of Bill, but the thing
Okay.
is that I heard, I mean, I understand this is a community that you're trying to
Mm-hmm.
develop in the Philippines, Bill, but one of the things I understood is, maybe I'm wrong, it was in Tagalog.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's written in Tagalog, but there are some
So I don't know
articles in
if that means
English.
that certificate you have to translate all in Tagalog, and all the site is in Tagalog.
I think
Well,
it's in Taglish, Tagalog English. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, no, I mean, that's why I haven't, as I said, I haven't seen the site, but it's what calls
Uh-huh.
my attention, right? That your main target is pretty much the Philippines, which I understand. But I do believe that if you're having this Cisco certificate,
Mm-hmm.
correct me if I'm wrong. If you have this Cisco certificate, that is pretty much um, given or provided in English language, right?
Yes, yes, that's correct.
And if you're trying to do this in a Taglish way for those your main audience, let's say, I do believe that they have to catch up with their English level in order to be, you know, able to understand what the complete cycle of the Cisco certificates that they're required. I think that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And nevertheless, if you also can expand, let's say, some other English spoken somewhere outside the Philippines, that could, enhance your site.
Mm-hmm.
As done by the Indians, and all other countries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. So, but probably in the future. But my initial plan is was just to help fellow Filipino beginner. So
Sure.
I'm not sure, but probably in the future. That's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think so also that if yeah, you're targeting Pinoys who are but your think Pinoy website, that's in English, right? Or it's also in Taglish? Billy.
Is it for me?
Yeah, yeah,
What's that?
Billy. Yung thinkpesos.com website, is that also in Taglish?
That's in pure English.
Pure
There are just
English?
some other words in Tagalog, but
Ah,
main content are English.
mhm. Well, if you can, I can see that you write well naman. So I'm looking at your thinkpesos.com blog. Then maybe if you plan to rebrand, as we discussed earlier, then you can start writing in English. So, Billy.
Uh, yes, Sir Mar, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I will consider that, but there are already a lot of English websites or English blogs written for CCNA. If you
Mm-hmm.
check on the web, and they are written on English. And my main purpose why I wrote that blog, that ccnaphilippines.com in Tagalog, is to help fellow Filipinos to understand the technicalities of getting certified,
Okay.
because most of the beginners are having hard time understanding the technicalities in English. So I
Mm-hmm.
try to explain it in Tagalog for them
Okay.
to understand it better.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm going to write it on English, the competition is already tight.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
blogs regarding CCNA
Mm-hmm.
in English.
But as Francisco mentioned, the test is in English then. So isn't it that at least since you'll be at least they'll be ready when they take the test. I don't know
Wait,
what
by
you
the way,
think.
unless Cisco decided to have a tagless version, I have no idea.
Well,
Yeah,
I
it's in
doubt it.
English. Yeah, it's pure English here in the Philippines.
Yeah,
So they
since
examine the terms. But on the blog, I use the same terms, like the
Mhm.
same technologies. I just explain it broader in Tagalog, so that's
Okay.
the reader
Yeah.
can understand.
Or you can have a separate maybe separate blog post that is purely in Filipino. Because as you mentioned earlier nga that if your blog post is in English, then it will help you with Google search ranking. So maybe something to keep in mind for you. S- Um, so we'll go back to you later, Billy. Somebody just joined us, Rick. Hi, Rick. Can you hear us?
Hey Marv, I do hear you.
Yeah, nice to meet you finally. So we've been chatting through the meetup group. Um, Thanks for joining us.
I actually, yeah, I joined the. I've been listening to the other link.
Okay, okay, okay. So you were
Yes,
able to see my presentation, my
yes,
introduction.
I
Okay,
heard it.
good,
Yes,
good.
yeah, yeah. I just went over. My computer is in the middle of updating Microsoft Windows 10. Decided this would be a good time to do it. So I
Okay.
don't can't probably have the best connection. So
Yeah, I'm sorry I muted you earlier because
okay,
there's some feedback, I think, with your mic.
I didn't even have it out actually. I had it up like in the muted position. So
Okay, okay. There's some rumbling. with your microphone?
It's probably a fan.
Okay, okay. So
Here.
maybe if you can give us a short introduction about yourself,
Sure.
Rick.
I'm in the Philippines. I don't know if you guys know that. I've been here for 4 years now. I left, the as Marv put on his profile, a high-paying corporate job. I've worked for large companies in the U.S. and when I moved to the Philippines, I started my own business. So I've been doing freelance since I came here. Um, my clientele is not Filipino; it's international. I have customers and clients in Europe, Sweden, in a lot of Sweden for some reason, and then U.S. So basically, since I've came here, I do Android development. By the way, just to be clear, I come from a background of software development, and then when I came here, I just focused exclusively on Android. So I do have a website, but there's nothing on it. So it's just my business name, and that's actually part of the reason why I joined up with the Hangout and why I started talking to you, Marv. I need to get
Mhm.
my website done. I haven't. It's been a thing I need to do, but I haven't really bothered. But now I'm making it a priority. So that's kind of been my motivation right now to get going with stuff is to get my online presence up to speed.
Okay. Can you type in the chat in the right portion the domain name of your website?
Um, I can, but I don't
Um,
actually know if there's
okay.
anything there. Um,
Okay.
I'll give you my
Okay.
About Me page.
Sure. If you can type it.
Yeah. Um, that's About Me. And by the way, my experience with About Me, it has been good. I've actually had clients come to me, and I had a client for 2 years that I did a very large project for that contacted me from my About Me
Mhm.
page. So if you don't have an About Me page, I highly recommend getting one.
Well, in
Rick,
fact, I
sorry, Rick,
I
sorry.
myself
Please,
do.
what you just mentioned, we have a what?
About me.
About me. Okay,
About
okay.
yeah, about.me is a website where you can create your website, a profile. So, but it's about.me/Rick Boyer, RickBoyer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
seems to be well. I use the same Rick. I also use about.me since it's my personal website is also still on hold. That's why, but I bought my domain name, Marv De Leon, and it points to my about.me page as well. But that's a good thing that you're able to get clients from your about.me page. Just one thing I noticed that all three of you guys are in the IT
Yeah.
industry. So this is not just a coaching call, but also a chance for us to network. So yeah, so if Francisco, you'll be coming over here in the Philippines, maybe you can connect with Rick.
Yeah, actually, that's the
Anyway,
idea, right? I mean, this is part of
yeah,
the.
yeah.
That's why I joined this call. I mean, you never know who or expect who will be in the call, who's going to be joining, right? And I do already have some notes here about Rick, about Billy, obviously with you. So yes, and if I don't, I'm not able to meet them personally in Manila during my stay. I will have their name, and yeah, I mean, this is what I do is how do I use a term, very bad English term, which economic collaboration.
Oh yeah, collaboration.
Okay.
Yeah, it's collaboration indeed, but economic. I don't have money, you don't have money, but I have a project that you can help me. They pay
Mm,
us and 50-50 sort of. That's the it.
mm. Okay, so that's good. Maybe as you said, you'll be coming over here this December, right, Francisco? So
Indeed.
maybe you can hook up with Rick. Maybe there's something that you can invite him to your upcoming event. We can
Sure.
talk about that after or later. So
Yeah.
yeah. So So you mentioned, Rick, that yeah. So I'm here now in your about me page. So I just saw a painting of a naked woman. So
Really? I better go look.
no, it's oh, okay. There's it's you know about me. They have they also feature other pages. So I think this doesn't
Right.
belong to you. Okay, so
Oh,
just
okay. So that might be
it's a
why I'm getting
painting
so many
anyway.
views.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good point there. Well, well, definitely. If like myself, I would suggest to have your own website. Of course, have you checked if rickboyer.com is already is still available?
Oh, no, it's been gone a long time ago.
Oh, okay. So, well, you can try other extensions like .co,
Well,
.net, or
I
.org.
my business name is Nice Guy
Oh,
Development, so I
okay.
that's my brand name. I mean
Uh-huh.
that's the site I use the about me because I get a lot of for recruiters and that kind of stuff. I get a lot of I have a LinkedIn profile and I get a lot of job stuff, which I don't really do. I'm doing freelance, but all my business stuff for my for the consulting goes through the Night Sky Development site.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you do the coding yourself for the Android apps, or
Yes,
you
yes.
have a team?
No, I do it just me. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I've considered getting additional help here because sometimes I just have so much work to do, but I'm not ready to take the step of becoming a manager.
Okay. Okay, so we can talk to you again later for our Q&A. It's an open forum. So we have another another attendee, another participant who would like to talk to. If, unless you have other questions, Rick. Yeah, Rick.
I'm here, but you said to
Okay.
Rick, so I have no other questions. I'm good.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll talk to Lovely. Hi, Lovely.
I think she's in mute.
Hi, Lovely. Are you there? So I think yeah, she's
I think she's in mute.
yeah. So let's try to chat with her. So Lovely, if you can hear us, please just unmute. Um, just there's on the upper right portion of your screen, or on the well on the lower part. When you see, if you see your name, just unmute your mic, or if you can hear us, please join the group chat on the right. If you can hear us, I. So while we're waiting for Lovely, I'll check if there are other questions our
I do
from
have
the
a question.
viewers.
I'm sorry, Marv. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'll just check
Sure.
quickly on the if there are other questions on Twitter. So for those who are just joining us, use the hashtag AskFreelanceBlend if you have questions via Twitter. My handle is @freelanceblend. Okay, so yeah, sorry to cut you off, Francisco.
See, you mentioned during your profile presentation that in the freelance community in the Philippines is quite new, so therefore still in a baby step, let's say, or still catching up.
Mhm.
And you say that you plan to change it or you're seeing some changes, right? Just to give you information, here
Mhm.
at least in Netherlands, it's like 23% of the workforce are already freelancer.
Wow, that's quite large.
I think it's huge. It changed
Mm,
only in the last 5 or 6 years when the like the economical crisis we have was hitting a lot of big companies, corporate companies here. So they have to downsize their their staff, their employees. However, in order to bring back those possible potential candidates, what's happening is that the freelancers started to be a small individual solo entrepreneur company, and they're offering this kind of services. So it
mhm,
entered in another cycle in which, yes, there's a certain high percentage of unemployment. However, as you said, the intention of the freelancer is to be, at least to keep rolling the ball in order for them to, still work and have some kind of freedom and have some kind of more time, life balance, work, and sort of.
mhm,
So I think if your intention is indeed to have a boost or a kick for the Filipinos to be a freelancer, I think due to the current situation of the worldwide business mentality or trend, they're seeking more freelancer than
mhm,
a long-term employee.
mhm.
Eh,
So how do you think that the freelancer population there in Europe um, has grown? Why do you think, and how do you think we can do the same here in the Philippines?
Well, I think it's more of a mentality. As I said, I mean, I'm based in here in Netherlands. However, I have my networks and contacts all over Europe, and I see already this already changing. First is that the corporate the companies itself, they prefer to have a 1 month or 2 months or 2 years long long-term contractor. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
they set up whatever they have to do. They get this professional, experienced person who are able to provide his services according to the requirements of the manager or the company. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
After that, goes to another project and so on. Second is that they don't want companies are not able due to the uncertainty of of the economics. They prefer to have more a, a close or not so big stuff in their
Mm-hmm.
head count.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that obviously here at least in Netherlands, in France, and in Spain and UK, they're changing a lot of laws to be as for the freelancers.
Mm-hmm.
Social benefits, unemployment, social securities, health insurance, the rate of the income tax and so on are also some kind of there's a certain ad- advantages, let's say, if you would like to be a freelancer, pension
Wow,
plans and so on. So
that's
this
that's that's nice to hear, and well, we don't have that here
I know,
yet.
I know. What I'm saying is that I understand it, at least here, even though you're a freelancer, you have the capability to build your own pension plan, you have your own social security, health insurance, etc. No, and that's part of the government being right because they need
Yeah.
that kind of. Now, I do know, as I said, if you want to grow this, I think you have to look also in that kind of what's the potential benefits of to be a freelancer in the Philippines, not to be
Mm-hmm.
a freelancer, but what could be a potential, uh, you know, social benefits for a freelancer, a part
Mm-hmm.
of having life balance, family environment,
Mm-hmm.
or project or so on. Those
Well,
are things I've been observing.
yeah. Well, thank you for that. It's really something I haven't heard from the how's the freelancing community in Europe. So I've read about freelancing in the US, but I'm glad to hear that the government there in Europe is supporting the freelancer community. Uh, it again, it's more work for me. Hopefully, people from government are listening to this. Yeah, that's the sad thing here that that's why people are having a hard time leaving their day jobs because they lose all those social benefits as you mentioned earlier. Just one more question: are is in Europe are freelancers are there clients within Europe also, or are they serving also outside Europe? Because most freelancers here in the Philippines serve foreign clients because Filipino companies are still traditional, so they still they're still not aware of that there are very talented freelancers
Yeah,
out there.
one of the things that at least for a at least the mentality here in Europe, the how do you call this, the rotation? How do you call this, the an average, a person who stays in a company has an average of 3 to 4 years, right?
Oh, okay.
They don't stay. As you said, the I mean, big companies, or they you
Mhm.
start at 18 and you finish almost your career, the whole your life in
Yes.
spending 20, 30, 45 years of your life, and there you go.
Yes.
What's happening here is that it's like there's so much movement. There's a lot of opportunities, so several opportunities for people to choose their career and the lifestyle. So pretty much is that they're not able to stay or commit. They don't want to commit, let's say, in a long
Mhm.
term for 10 or 15 years.
Mhm.
There are some, obviously, but that's very seldom. And
Mhm.
that's part of it. And it's growing because the more you what's at least my colleagues, my peers that I've been talking with who are freelancer or contractors, they're able to pretty much join a company, stay 6 months, 1 year, 2 years max, and they're able to gain more experience, more people, more network, and also know about of another type of companies, another type
Mhm.
of sectors,
Mhm.
and that's enriching their capabilities to develop their career towards to another purpose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Um.
and what you said about maybe in the Philippines, and that's something. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. You said it's a very conservative. They want to use your finance, and maybe you end up staying in that finance group, not in the same position, but maybe it's 15 years or 20 years of your life.
Mhm. So how do we change that? Do you have any suggestion
The
from
thing is
your?
that you don't the changes are always challenging, right? So,
Mhm.
but you have to. But I think young people will also, and it's true, right? Young people don't look anymore uh, uh, for more stability. They want they don't really make a planning. The young people, so I think that's
Mhm.
your target is to get
Yeah,
those
that's
young people to
the
have.
millennials.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, let's like say 15 years ago, they're 15, 20 years ago, people or young people at that time they finish their career. Their first intention is first salary they would buy a car, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
At this moment, Europe-wise, in the US also, the people who finish their career, they don't buy a car. They don't want anymore a car. They only want to do is to just be able to travel, sort of, right?
Mhm.
So they're changing their priorities. Or people here in Europe, and as you know, it's like the first year of their life, they don't work. And I think in the US also it's pretty much the same culture. Is that when they finish their career or their university level, they don't start working. They look for a freedom of 1 year, a sabbatical year for to travel worldwide, unless for them to try to discover what they want.
Mhm.
So
Since you
these
mentioned,
people, yes, those people who will be traveling either via Europe or Australia, New Zealand or Asia, they could stay for 1 year traveling, and those are the freelancer. They have their laptop,
Mhm.
right? They have their
Yeah.
smartphone. They travel. They own their own blog. They own their own podcast. They
Mhm.
join a small company, whatever, but they will start learning, hey, this is something I like.
Mhm. I would like to ask Rick. Rick, have you been a freelancer for a long time?
Um, well, 4 years. When I was in the U.S., I was not doing freelance. I I did traditional full-time employee (FTE), and I did a lot of consulting, contract type work, but that was not the same as freelance.
Mhm. Okay. So, do you mind if I ask why you decided to move to the Philippines?
No problem. Um, for me, when I was in the U.S., I worked for companies like Microsoft, and at Microsoft, very large company, individual people really don't mean much. Um, and I worked for other large companies. It was at um, you know worldwide, international. They had offices in multiple countries, and I've worked at small startup companies, and I really found for me that startups were way more exciting, way more interesting. Um, so I didn't really feel like doing the corporate world life. Um, and so starting a business, I mean, I'd always wanted to come to the Philippines. I'd been coming here for many, many years. Um, so I basically decided my kids were done with school, so I was done, and so I moved. And
Mhm.
initially I actually didn't come here with the intention of doing uh, of of starting my own business, but as a software developer, I had heard for so long that the great thing about software developers you can work anywhere, and though it's technically true, um, there is a lot of mindset that a company wants you right there in their cubicle, um, and so you can do it anywhere, but as anybody in doing consulting, freelancing knows, there is something about companies wanting you right there in the building. But I didn't want that, so um, here in the Philippines, it's so much cheaper. So basically, with the money I had, I basically just started doing consulting, freelancing, consulting, and it really worked out a lot better than I thought it would. So I just have kept doing it.
Mhm. So we'll actually be this not really just a coaching session. It's more of sharing and learning from each other. So thank you, Francisco and Rick, for sharing. So
Marv, just
yeah,
yeah, Vic, I think
you
I
can
agree
ask
with Rick
anytime.
what
Yeah,
you mentioned. I don't know if Billy, if you're there, you still there, Billy?
yeah, Billy.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm listening to you guys.
Because
Mhm.
hearing your voice or your at least your experience, that it looks like you're pretty much uh, not a startup, but working for you're working for a company, right?
Yep,
But
I'm a full-time employee
yeah, I just
working
want to
for.
ask you if why you as a young Filipino would like to be a freelancer, if that was your intention.
Yeah, basically, my initial goal is to earn additional income aside from my salary,
Hmm.
and then my long-term goal is to build a sustainable online career or business where I do not work for somebody else and we're just working for myself, something like that. You know, to have kind of freedom where you are not employed to just one and you can work anytime and anywhere you want.
Okay.
Any more questions for Billy, Francisco? Well, siguro, I'd like to ask what are the challenges or when it comes to finding a way to leave the comfort for you, this for you, Billy, for the comfort of having a stable income. So what are the challenges and what are your what are your plans?
Actually, guys, I love my job just to share because we're really not the type of employee working full time in the office and then traveling from 9 to 5. We are allowed to work from home on our own. We just have our laptop provided by the company. and then we're logging in via VPN. So
Mhm.
that's why I'm enjoying my job. So I can stay here. We just work 4 days a week, and then we have 3 days rest days. So during my rest days, that's where I spend my time blogging and discovering,
Mhm.
starting an online business and making presence online.
Mhm.
If you're going to ask me that, I mean, if there is a plan to leave my job right now, my answer is no, because I'm enjoying it so far, and yeah, as I mentioned, we're just working from home and enjoying the benefits of the internet. So I really don't have the plans as of now to retire or to move out from this job to being a freelancer.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of sideline or a hobby for me as of now.
Mhm. Do you work for a local company or for a foreign company?
Actually, it's an international BPO
International.
that has a branch
Yeah.
here in the Philippines. So
Uh,
it's probably around 20 countries right now, I think.
mm, yeah, that's typical of foreign company. They're starting to bring in that the you can already start working from home. So I also used to work for an American company, and all the systems that we use are can be accessed online. So so I think Filipinos are starting to, especially with the traffic. So Filipinos are starting more and more Filipinos are starting to work from home, but still are still part of a company. The challenge again are local companies because well, technologically wise, maybe their systems are not ready to be accessed online.
Yeah. But that's Marv. This is Francisco again. I'm sorry if I'm asking questions
Yeah,
or I'm trying to give
that's
provide.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'm very sorry. But there's two things that I just realized what you just mentioned is uh, about the the online softwares apps that big or companies, corporate companies are able to provide within their infrastructure IT in their company so that the employees can have some kind of advantage and start working from home and so on. And the other thing is that the small business medium enterprise in the Philippines yet has to improve their possibilities to have that kind of softwares applications developed for them to be used and for other or to invest. Also, that's true. But that's one thing that I still you remember why what's my main intention, right? Is
Yes,
how
yes.
I'm able to provide that kind of potential softwares developed here in Europe, because here in Europe is the main idea is we don't the 24 hours, it looks like it's very short and we don't have enough time for the 24 hours, so we have to keep going.
Mhm.
and and there's a lot of applications here that are able to be used for SMEs, small medium enterprise, so that they can affordable and they can provide this kind of apps to their local employees, for those local employees as Billy or whoever who can, due to this kind of famous traffic issues, commuting issues in Manila. Well,
Mhm.
guess what? Well, use less some time. So that's one of the issues. So I'm hearing from you. This looks like there's an opportunity for me with my vision and my idea still to bring in the Philippines. So the other thing that I would like to add is that why is it that in Europe there's a lot of freelancers? What is happening is that because of the spaces, the rent, of the offices are quite expensive, right?
Mhm.
So instead of a big company paying for X amount of spaces in a building, is that having a freelancer who are able to provide as a contractor or any other services to them, they don't have to worry for the spaces, for the space for that specific uh,
Mhm.
freelancer. those freelancers are usually working either from home or any other places, shared spaces, I think we call here, and and that's part of also the interconnections of the internet, the Wi-Fi's, the servers, the clouds, and all these things being provided for these kind of users.
Mm-hmm.
So infrastructure is what something that you have to look on how to improve those.
Mm-hmm.
There's also something I wanted to add in.
Sure, sure, Rick.
I kind of want to tie something Francisco mentioned a while back with Billy. And it's not really your direct, it's not really freelancer Blend, I think's direct mission, but Francisco was talking about the turnover rate, and there is studies that have shown that the days of people working at a company, retiring at that company are over. That used to be the mindset a long time ago. But people being at a job, like you said, 6 months, a year, 2 years. In the U.S., when people are at a job for a long time, like 5+ years, people start wondering what's wrong with them. The thinking is that somebody in a job that long at a same company usually means they're not good enough to go somewhere else. But tying into Billy, there is something that I think that the freelance blend, even if you're not looking at having your own business doing a freelance, there is a part of this where that I did not learn for 20 years when I was working in the U.S. And I noticed since I left the U.S. and since I've been doing freelance, I've done a lot more about getting myself an online presence, about the networking, and it's something like Billy, who isn't necessarily looking for changing a job, but going through this, like with this blog, really helps even with a regular job. I get so many recruiters. I mean, if I wanted to go to Amazon, I have a job waiting for me in the US because they look at my profile, they look at this stuff. And so doing this really still helps, even if you're not looking at doing freelance. Building yourself a reputation, blogging. I mean, it's all stuff I would highly recommend for, IT and non-IT people. I think it really helps a career, regardless of whether you're doing freelance or not.
I agree with you 100%, Rick. And that's what I really actually advocate for freelancers to have their online presence, as you mentioned. Uh, really helps them. In fact, in another coaching call that I had a few days ago, a graphic designer who attended one of our workshops created her also an about me page at the start.
Right.
She was able to get clients right after creating her about me page, because of that online presence. So thank you for that insight, Rick.
I'd
So
say
I
I
think
think Billy is definitely on the right track.
I agree as well. So just as if you saw earlier the screenshot of his website, as I told him, just put something about him. It's not just about his brand, but it's also people should see his face first of all. So again, it's personal branding. So my question to you, Rick. So you mentioned you have an online presence already. So um, I'm just wondering why you wanted to join our personal branding workshop. Is it to build your personal brand here in the Philippines, or
No, no, online.
online also? Okay,
Yeah,
because yeah, I
I
was
don't.
wondering you have your clients are also not here in the Philippines. So.
Right. Where I'm really lacking is, I mean, I've been lucky actually because I do a lot of reading about freelance when I first started, and I've actually been, I mean, honestly, extremely lucky. I think I just got in a great spot, doing Android development. That I've had a lot of clients coming to me, but I also know that I can't expect that to always be the case. Um, and so to be honest, I've been lazy because I haven't had to
Mhm.
do it. but
Uh-huh.
I need to create. I mean, I've had some great clients come to me, but I've done most of my work through the freelance sites.
Mm.
And if any freelancers are doing that, they know how tough it is. It's
Mm.
so much easier having a client come to you because they saw your profile. Um,
Uh-huh.
so I I want to have a lot more people coming to me, so I can pick and choose instead of doing this bidding stuff on the online sites. So
Mm.
I'm in the middle of a project right now, and it's a big project. You know how that is. I'm doing a book, so
Mm.
when my book is done, that's when I'm really going to hit my my um, my personal I mean my business website, nightskydev.com. There's really nothing there right now, but that's when
Mhm.
I'm really going to get my profile, my portfolio. Mostly right now, my presence is on the freelance sites, and I do get a lot of people, sending me invitations to bid. But I don't want them to do that. I want them to just send me jobs, send me
Mhm.
projects that
Yeah.
they want me to do. So,
Uh-huh. So which freelance sites do you use? Upwork.
um, well, I use pretty much all of them, but if anybody is new listening, I would really recommend, and you may not like this, so maybe I should tell you off the side, but I would very much caution anybody about using freelancer.com. Um, I have a lot of problems with that site that I would be happy to share with you guys. I know they were the sponsor for something before, but I think they're the most unethical company I've experienced. So that's my opinion, but I
Okay.
do use all the sites, but I don't use that one anymore.
Well, this is a free country, um, a free webinar. But if I'm posting this in the podcast, I may have to bleep that out if you don't mind.
That's
Rick.
fine. Um, if they're going to sponsor you, but I would really actually recommend anybody who's considering them, Google them
Mhm.
before you. Um,
Yeah.
if you have any
It's,
questions, talk to me offline.
guys, I sorry, this is Francisco. I have to leave, guys. I don't know until
Are
Oh,
what,
doing
but I
that,
have to go.
they know how tough
thank you,
it
Francisco,
is.
for joining us.
No, thanks to you guys. Thanks to you, Marv, for organizing this. And I hope, in a short time period, there will
Mhm.
be another webinar, and definitely we will be meeting in during my visit in Manila. And
Yeah.
if
See
anyone
you.
else would like to meet me or to have, just drop me a line via Marv or via Meetup. We'll be
Okay.
glad to talk with you and chat about projects. Why not?
Thank you. So,
All
yeah,
right.
I'll just connect you guys if you need each other's any one of you each other's contact details. I'll hook you up.
Okay.
So we're
Thank you.
thank you, Francisco.
There's bye.
So just one last question. So for you, Rick. So which percentage of the gigs that you get uh come from freelance websites, and which ones come from referrals and from your About Me page?
Um, well, for the first 2 years, it was 100% was from the freelance sites, and
Mhm.
you know, and I really learned a lot from that experience. Um, and then about 2 years ago, um, I had my first when I actually first started my About Me page, uh, and I get actually a cross between. I probably get more from my LinkedIn page than I actually do my About Me page. I actually have had one from my About Me page, but
Mhm.
um, but since about 2 years ago, it's been um, I mean really 100% through directly because I've just had two clients. So I've been
Mhm.
working with two clients for the last 2 years. One of
Mhm.
those projects just finished though. I have a new
Uh-huh.
project, but again, it's not a big money project. I think you know how that is. Books don't pay a whole lot, um,
Mhm.
but um, so when I'm done with and have this out, then I'll be looking at. That's when I need to make the big push. So
Mhm. So now it's 100 a big percentage go to you directly.
well, Well, I'm going to clarify that. For the last 2 years, my work has all
Okay.
been through people who have contacted me directly.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I had, in most, it's really been two clients. So not to make it
Mm-hmm.
sound like it's huge,
Okay.
it's not. It's been two
Yeah.
clients. They've just been big projects.
Mm-hmm.
I've also done I did an Android project for Microsoft last year, and
Mm-hmm.
that again was through LinkedIn. Um, so the other two projects though are for clients in the U.S. and one is just finished, and the other we're starting beta testing. So that one's kind of at its end as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why right now I don't have any new projects coming on, which is why
Mm-hmm.
when I'm done with at the end of the year when I freed up, I'm going to then I need to basically start doing freelance sites again or getting people coming to me again. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said I've been bad in that I
Yeah.
haven't kept my presence up, which is one of the worst things to do in when you're doing freelance. You got to keep that momentum going.
Mm-hmm. So I assume you're able to as an Android developer, your rates could be up up in the up what you call this one of the highest rates to keep you if you just have two clients to help you with your bill. So because a majority of Filipinos are in the a lower pricing bracket. So and I think they try to be able to compete. They try to bring their rates down. So how would you suggest for anybody listening now who's a freelancer how to be able to charge high?
Um, well, what I have found is I avoid doing the hourly. I don't like hourly charging. It's I don't like spending half of my time managing or tracking my time. I
Mm-hmm.
always do project bids. So even with the clients that I've mentioned, um, um, when I first started with them, I did project. Well, actually, take that back. One of them I did hourly because they asked for that, and it was. But anyways, what I recommend doing, if when possible, is to not try to compete. Um, I mean, you're right. The thing about about here, it's great because the cost of living is lower, but you are still
Mm-hmm.
competing with a lot of the Indian, a
Yeah.
lot of freelancers in India, and they love to undercut everything. So what I recommend is don't try to do that. Don't try to compete directly. Don't try to be the guy selling it for the less because the type of clients you get are often not the clients you want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, not to bore people too much, but my very first project that I did on a freelance site, I did for $30 for the whole weekend, and I really thought, wow, how am I going to afford doing freelance? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it but it got my reputation started, and if you look at my on freelancer.com, I have a 5-star rating, I have quite a bit of
Mm-hmm.
feedback, and that's the first thing to do if you're going to try to go that route. It's the hardest route to go. But bid on a project basis instead of an hourly basis,
Mm-hmm.
and then get your reputation going. And I have a lot of people come to me just because of my reputation on the sites. I mean, I really do strive. I have a 5-star rating in every site that I'm on, and I'm pretty much
Mm-hmm.
on all of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like one of the key things. But for the most part, I don't do the hourly. I do the project.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when you're first going, you gotta just you do have to bid low to get the reputation started because
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to be the first to hire
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
without any reputation. So
Wasn't it a challenge since you mentioned don't clients check out your online profile before you even had your about me page,
yeah, when I
or it
started,
wasn't a factor?
well, no, 4 years ago when I first started, it was long before I heard about me. I just had my on my like when I started with uh, Elance. They've
Hmm.
changed if you follow them. But I
Yeah,
had an
yeah.
Elance profile. I had
Uh-huh.
several other profiles. Um, but yeah, having no profile basically on those sites was very hard, and I did hundreds and hundreds of bids. I still have a list of all my bids that I did because I kept them all. Um,
For
and
motivation?
no, because I'm anal, I just always track everything. Um,
Okay.
it just because if I write something, I would save it into a file. The main reason I did it was because I wanted to know if I had talked to somebody already, and that way I could go back and look at it. Um,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because it turned out I found that I actually found out that some people sometimes would actually pose as as they're looking for work, but actually they're my competitors. So
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
I, I
Uh,
I saw this kind of trend and I just did it initially by saving it because I had to save it so I could copy and paste it. 'Cause I would never write on the web page. I would always type directly on my computer because I would get tired of typing on the web page and then all of a sudden it would crash and I have to retype everything. So I just got habit of typing it on the computer, spell checking it in Word, and then I would just copy and paste on the web page on my bid,
uh,
and that worked out very well. But because I was saving it, that's when I started realizing, oh, this person has been posting before, and I started seeing things like this. But
uh,
because I would save it like that is how come I kept them all. Um,
mm,
but
yeah,
but
I
yeah, in the
got it.
beginning, it really is hard. That's why I really did take. I mean, I remember this. I had several projects that I spent a lot of time. But the interesting thing was, as I got more experienced and I started getting, it was easier to get new projects. Those other people that I had worked on initially came back to me for more work, but
Mm-hmm.
they expected the same thing. They expected me, they expected to spend $30 for a full weekend or a week of work,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I mean, we can't even do that in the Philippines. That just isn't.
Uh-huh.
You you can't live on that kind of
Yeah.
money. So
Yeah.
it turned out that a lot of those people aren't people you're going to want to keep, but at least they can get your reputation going. Just so I would give it my all. I always would give it my all. I wouldn't take a project if I didn't think I could give it my all and do it, what I promised, because that's the most
Mm-hmm.
important thing. If you're going to do this, use these sites, you have to have a good reputation. Otherwise, there's just too many people who have it, who have a good reputation. So if you don't, it's going to be really hard to compete with them, even if you're offering less money. Even if you're offering to do it for less money.
Yeah, thanks for that, Rick. I agree with you. In fact, I also tried. I started just freelancing this year and using those websites. I used to like Elance more because, like you, I find it hard to. I like. I don't like hourly. I also like fixed rate to bid for
Yeah.
fixed rate jobs because I don't want to be. It's like working again for a company if I work for an hourly rate.
Yes.
So that's why I like Elance before, and Odes is more I think for hourly jobs. And then when they merged in Upwork, so um,
Right.
it's more of a hybrid of Elance and Odesk. But for myself, I still get I do my freelance coaching and graphic design, web design from referrals. So well, I learned a lot from you today. Thank you for sharing that, Rick. Billy, would you have any questions for Rick before I move on? We're about to end this webinar. So do you have any questions for Rick, Billy?
No, sir. I'm good. Thanks for
Okay.
the insights, by the way, Rick.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll be sharing my screen. I mentioned about something that I will announce about project I'm having for freelance blend um, next year. So can you see my screen now, Billy?
Yes, sir. Seeing it
Yeah,
now.
the PowerPoint. Okay, so I'm actually well, I'm so as part of my plans for next year. Actually, I'm beta testing a group coaching program this December. So this program is 6 months of intensive training with me. So as I mentioned earlier, I've been freelancing as a business coach, on an online business coach. I've as after I retired from my job in June, I got my first client. So I was lucky to have my first client to take over the income that I lost. So we've been also we were in a 6 month program for me to test it first one on one. So now I'd like to do this as a group program since I've tested it. So this is also 6 months of training with myself. It consists of 2 2-hour sessions a month. We'll be doing it like what we're doing it right now. It's Google Hangouts on air, live sessions with me. We'll be having Ask Me Anything sessions like we did right now. And then also, so it's just like a mastermind coaching program like we're doing right now, a hot seat where you talk about your idea and you get instant feedback from the group for anything you're struggling with, especially in terms of freelancing and online business. Mastermind with the fellow students, and we'll be having other guest local influencers on the program. Hands-on training like this one. We'll have on-screen demos. We have people who'd like to learn about WordPress, so we can do that. It all since this is a beta version, it will also depend actually on what the group will require for me to teach them. So or to teach you. So action guides and worksheets, resources that I have that I share with my coaching clients. It's a library of online resources, and you also have if you can't join the live training, we'll have access as well to the replays of the sessions that you miss. So the topics that I will be talking about: the mindset of freelancer, establishing a morning routine that I myself practice, WordPress, as I mentioned earlier, email marketing, webinars using Google Hangouts for you to create your own webinars for your clients or for your target audience. You can also talk about podcasting, which is my expertise, launching your own events and workshops, networking with influencers, and also local business registration and taxation. So we'll have experts. Also, I'll invite experts for this group coaching program. If you're planning to have to legalize your freelance business here in the Philippines, and social media also will be part of this program. So why you should join this program? You help me test this program, and then based on your feedback, I'll be having my online course that I will launch next year. So another thing is I'll be with you throughout the 6 months, hand holding you and guiding you, plus the community will be helping you. So as feedback from myself and other influencers that will be having during the program. Motivation. So being a freelancer is a lonely career, and you need constant motivation, clarity, and focus from like-minded individuals. So I don't know if Rick, for you it's a lonely career, or I think you're having fun here in the Philippines. Then take massive action and get results. So, as part of this group coaching program, you have an accountability partner in me and the other participants, because that's what sometimes freelancers and online entrepreneurs need, someone to uh, be their accountability partners. And There's no risk to be part of this program. I'll give you your money back if you're not happy. No questions asked. Um, so there. So our previous clients just show you that we give results in terms of their personal branding. So the Alpha Girl, I help her. I designed her website. She had a previous website, but I rebranded her into a more modern and also uh, genderless or gender, what do you call it? The previous website is more feminine, so it's more unisex. Uh, so that's the Alpha Girl. She's a network marketer. Also worked with Mike Rogan. He's Irish, who's here in the Philippines to help Filipinos to become what they want to be, to reach their goal, to be their best. So he has this podcast, Best of You, which I helped set up for him. So they are previous students of the personal branding workshop, and after the workshop, these are the results that I got, and I can help you with the same results that they had through this group coaching program. So just about the price, the value of one-on-one coaching with me is 6,000 pesos a month. So especially for this group, for anyone live in this call right now or viewing in YouTube, offering this very low rate at 2,500 a month for 6 months or 15,000 pesos. If you pay in full, you get an additional 3,000 pesos off, which is until or 12,000 pesos total only. So it's either you pay in installment 2,500 a month or in full at 12,000 pesos one time. So this special discount is until December 5 only. So you have 4 days to think about it. And our first session starts on December 15. The reason for this, I want to start before the holidays start here in the Philippines about a week before Christmas. So I want to be ahead, and so that when come January, you start you've already started at least with one session. And most Filipinos after the holidays, they're a bit sluggish. So January, so they tend to procrastinate. So I want us to start soon. So the first session will start on December 15. I'm sorry. And as another, so just register at freelanceblend.com/GCP beta if you'd like to register. So there's another special bonus if you sign up today. So if you sign up tonight until 11:59 tonight, you get a free copy of my book, the Cyberpreneur book, which I recently launched here in the Philippines. It's also available in Amazon. So it's free shipping if you're within Metro Manila. So I'd like to ask everyone who's in the call to join our group coaching program. Again, it's in freelanceblend.com/GCP beta. So thank you. We open the floor again for any of your questions or feedback. Continue the discussion earlier, or if you have questions about this group coaching program, if you're interested to join. So I'll just stop sharing my screen, and I'll be showing my face. So thank you. So to the guys who are in this webinar, of course, Billy and Lovely. So you've been silent. I hope you've been listening to us, and of course, Rick. So do you have anything to ask? You have any questions? Uh, I'll start with you. Are you still there, Billy?
Yes, Sir Marv. I think so far, wala pa naman akong question. I already have the
Okay.
book, Cyberpreneur eh, sayang.
Oy, thank you
Yeah, but
for
I got it
purchasing.
from my wife. Gave it to me as a gift, so it's a nice
Wow.
Christmas gift.
Thank you very much. Thank you to your wife.
I
Really
haven't
appreciate it.
read it yet, so I'll try to read it this Christmas vacation and then apply the lessons next year.
Yeah, we have 22 contributors on that for that book. So, topics ranging from freelancing, online business, podcasting, the chapter I contributed, and startups. So, and also how to create a business plan, how to register here in the Philippines. So, you'll be learning a lot. So, thank you for to your wife for purchasing that for you.
Yeah,
So
sir. So let's
lovely.
see. Thank you.
If you have any questions, yeah, thank you, Billy. So lovely. If you have any questions, please uh, type in your question in the chat. And Rick, you have
One
anything more
question I
to?
have.
Yeah, sure.
Well, on your you have the different prices. My wife has been listening tonight as well.
Okay,
She's in the
sure.
other link. Do you have a multi-person discount? If not, think about that. And I'll try to get her to join with me.
I just share again the pricing for your. Can you see it now? Can you see the
Yes, I
screen?
see the pricing.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is do you
Mhm.
have the if you don't, and you might think about it, bring a friend
Oh,
kind of thing, like you did with your events.
yeah.
And
Do
speaking
you
of
have?
your event, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you have? Do you have the same business, um, or your wife is also having her own business? Is it separate from your business?
Yes, it's separate.
It's
Yes.
separate.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll message you. I can give a discount for bring a friend. Um, I'll I'll let's discuss
Yeah, I just
after
wanted to
if you
bring it
don't
up
mind.
here just in case there's other people who, they can all message you privately, but
Yeah, thank
sometimes I
you.
think that having, um, for people who are considering it, you mentioned as one of your bullet points the accountability, um, and I think that's a really good. Um, my wife and I used to do a weekly meeting where her and I would sit down and discuss our business stuff for that
Mhm,
accountability aspect. So it's
mhm.
something with your crew coaching plan. Obviously, the group is good, but if you can bring a friend, that also helps.
Mm.
So I
Yeah,
mean, it's
thank
kind of a
you.
suggestion for everybody.
Good idea. Yeah, yeah. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, you're right. You did that for the workshops. I didn't think about it for this program. Do you mind if I ask if what your wife's business is?
Um, well, to be honest, I have no problem with you asking. I would ask her myself. Um,
Okay. No need
well,
to share it here. Just
no, actually, the point more is she's actually still in that discovering what she wants to do stage.
okay,
Um,
okay.
she has a website for her photography, but
Mm-hmm,
it hasn't been something that she's put a lot of time into. So for her, it's more of the discovering. She wants to do freelance. She wants to do her own thing.
mm-hmm,
And I don't know how many people are listening who are in that situation where they want
uh-huh,
something, but they don't know what they want to do, and they're trying to figure it out. That's where
mm-hmm.
she's at. She's in
Yeah,
the figuring out what she. So if I knew, I'd be happy to tell you. But
yeah.
she's still learning.
Okay, okay. Well, you're right. In fact, during our previous workshop, um, maybe half of the people who were there were also in that same stage. They have plenty of the ideas, many business ideas, but don't know which one to focus on. So we're able to um, myself and the other what do you call that? The other guests, our brand experts, were able to help them with that. So in fact, we had about for the second session we had about three wedding photographers in
Oh
the
wow,
group. So is
that's
she also
surprising.
in the wedding industry?
She has. she has done them. She's actually had people, so professionally she has done them, but she's not wishing to go that route. Um,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Okay.
but I'll let her. She's going to be at the event this weekend, so that's one of the reasons why she's going when you do your
Oh, sure.
podcast. She
Mm-hmm.
loves the blogging. I think if she did something, um, she's done a few different things, kind of figure out what she really wants to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that she's going to do weddings. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But now she's shaking
Okay.
her head no.
Oh, she's listening now.
Oh yeah, she's on her computer.
Okay. Oh, hi. So yeah, I'd love to meet with you. I hope you're also there, Rick. To those who are listening, Billy, I'd also like to invite you, Janet Toral. If I'm sure you know her, right? So she has this iBlog Summit on December 4 and 5. So that's this Friday and Saturday. The event is free. It's in UP Diliman. Um, I think it's the whole day, 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. So I'll be on the first day, December 4. I'll talk about podcasting. So um,
Yeah, sir. I saw the post, but
yeah,
unfortunately I can't attend because
that's
of
okay.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably in the
Oh
next
yeah,
seminar. I added
the
you on
work that
Facebook, Marv.
you'll be at work that you enjoy, right?
Yeah, here in
Yeah.
my home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Probably, I also think about your coaching program. So,
Mm-hmm.
if
Sure.
if I decided to join, I'll just PM you on Facebook. Then, thank you.
Yeah, just let me know. Just go to the website first to register, if you're interested. But if, of course, if you have any question, just shoot me an email or message me in the Facebook page. I'll also give my email address. Yeah, I think Rick, we've been exchanging emails, so you already know my email address. So marv@freelanceblend.com. So, are there any other questions about the program, Rick and Billy? So I
I
really
So
hope
think
you can
good,
join,
Sir Marv.
and I really like, especially the feedback that I got today. It's really very powerful, and I really learned from you guys. Again, this is not just me coaching, but I also learn from you. Yeah. So, do you have any more questions, Rick?
no, I'm good.
Okay. How about you, Billy?
I'm good too, Sir Marv.
Okay.
Rick,
So,
guys. So, thank you also
yeah,
for
I'll just yeah, I'll just run a quick check on Twitter if you have any questions that came in. So I forgot to just give me 2 seconds. Just loading this. Okay. So you have don't have any more questions. So I'll just Okay, so thank you again, to everyone who joined us, and I hope you learned something from this call, from this webinar, and thank you, and good night, and hope to see you around. Just watch out for new events that we're having and workshops, and yeah, thank you,
thank you, Sir Marv. Thank you, guys. More power, Sir Marv. Thank you.
thank you, Billy, thank you, Rick, and Lovely, thank you. So this is it. So bye.